Hi, welcome to the coaching game. I am so thrilled today that I have longtime friend that we just realized we never really connected face to face, Dorota Raniszewska. Dorota, tell us where you're calling from, first of all.
Hello. Hello, Laurie. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be with you today. It's true that we have been corresponding a lot on the email, but never met like today. I'm calling from Warsaw, Poland.
Wow, yeah, the ability of Zoom. I love it. I love it. Let me tell you what I've always been interested in Dorota, and because she's really taken. We started together in something called Points of View, and she took it to the next level, which I love. And what got me, she's got this great book called One Images, Many Words, and it's notes from a personal journal. We're going to talk about, oh, look at that. Big, it looks like the spirit is there. Whatever. We're going to talk about how this became more than a personal journal. But this is it's photography and personal development, healing, and education. And she wrote me and said, just want to let you know, hey, that I'm being printed in Russian. I go, what? That's amazing. So I said, oh, come on, we got to talk about this now. This is getting international and big. So, Dorota, tell me what inspired this book. I know Points of View did, but what made you think, I have something extra to say?
Oh yeah, sure. I have so much to say, but there's one secret in all this story, and I love this secret, and I'll share that. So
Secret no more. Yeah, go ahead.
the beginning of the whole story of One Image, Many Words, for me, it's really a personal journey, and it's a personal story because in the beginning of 2007. I just told myself I'm going to do a family project, a family research project. It's kind of a genealogy project. I so much wanted to know more about the family of my mother, who is Jewish, but we never knew anything, just literally nothing. But I had one photo at home, and that one single photo of a beautiful woman. I didn't know who was that woman at that time, was there from early childhood. I could remember that photo standing in the bedroom of my grandfather, but we never knew who was that woman. And that photo was the beginning for me. And I've made a really large family research project for 10 years. Started on 1st April 2007, that took me all around the world, and photographs, like old photographs that I've been able to collect here and there from different people, were like bridges between me and the others. I didn't know the people I was connecting in the beginning, but when they could see the photos I was showing, they immediately were opening up, and I could, see that photos that we take to memorize, to remember, they really help us to remember. But also they had people to share, to open up, to just feel comfortable about telling stories. So then I said to myself, wow, it's my personal project, but if I could use it for my work to help people to connect to their own stories, because I could see that, the biography, the personal biography is such a space for connecting to yourself. And this is how it's all started. And I started actually from asking my clients to say something about themselves, showing when they just could bring few photos from their life.
And it's amazing, and I'm not sure. It's so hard to put into words. But I have it. Points of View is based on, and so is this lovely book. This is full of Dorota's photography, and it's just it's exquisite. But based on images as opposed to words. And an exercise that I use to this day is if I'm doing a workshop, then I will have people introduce themselves through a picture, not a word, because we can all go, hey, I'm Laurie, I'm a coach, blah, blah. Nobody cares. They're thinking about, oh, what am I going to say? But the picture automatically connects the person. And I don't understand that third wall thing that just comes whoop and comes right down. Do you understand that? Is
Yeah,
it? Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. It's somehow because we consider very often that we can connect to ourselves only through thoughts. Like it's everything, all the life would be in our head, somewhere there in the brain. But we have the body, and I think that for us evoke these emotions. They connect us to feelings that we can that come from other parts of our body, from heart, from other spaces, from memory, from intuition, and we suddenly and people relax to share more.
It's so bizarre. Well, first of all, you have to tell us, who was the lady in the photo?
Oh, that's a long story.
Maybe it's too personal. That's okay.
No. The point is, actually that this was a very important person for my grandfather.
Mhm.
And she was not a family member, but she was a very important person for him. And she was, in fact, a heroine of the Second Worldwide War,
Wow.
a famous person. And she perished in a very unpleasant way. But anyway, I Googled the name of my grandfather in the internet, in Google, yeah. And I found an article about her
Wow.
with that photo. So
Mm.
I saw a press review in a journal online with the photo that was illustrating the article, and the same photo that was in the room of my grandfather.
Oh my God.
And then I realized that it was a review of a book, of a biography of that woman that was released in first in Israel. I found the contact to the writer, and she had me to debark on my journey, and I found gradually people and started connecting dots, So it's from one picture of an unknown person to knowing many people all around the world now.
Oh, you have totally in that story changed my entire perspective, because my thought is you take a picture and that's it. That's the memory and you put it over here. But you're saying, and I'm saying that's the end, and that's good. We were there and here we are, proof. But you're saying it's the beginning. It's the beginning. It can be the beginning of an amazing journey. And it sounds like that's what happened with you.
Yes, it is. I maybe one day I'll write a book about it, because
I think you
actually I
should.
have, through that photo, starting from that photo, through my research, I connected to the descendants of my family whom I never knew before. I never knew they existed, but they didn't know about me. And there were 5 branches from one tree in Poland, and I have reconnected and found all the descendants from all the 5 branches, and we are connected today.
Oh my gosh, that's book worthy for sure. Definitely. I have the title for your next book. Or the theme for your next book. Yeah. That's an amazing story. Amazing. It's interesting because I know one of the I don't know if it's your exercise, but one of the exercises in this book, you were saying you can show the same image to 10 different people and get 10 different interpretations, which means you always take a picture, that's reality. Well, yes, but it's reality based on my reality. It could be a totally different thing for you. How did you incorporate all that into the book? How do you explain that to people, that you're thinking, okay, let's take a picture? I mean, I'll do that if I want to remember something. Here, I'm going to take a picture and here it is. It's like, no, not necessarily. It's like, here it is for me, but it means nothing to you maybe. So how does that incorporate into our daily lives, actually?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it fascinates me a lot because, and I like very much to work with only one photograph, especially when I do quite a lot of now courses for teachers, for school teachers in
Right.
Warsaw. And we do this exercise. There is one photograph and we talk about values, which there is. I use a photo of a young man who is a skateboarder, so he's in action. There's some effort, some passion, many things. And I ask them how they what values does it represent for them, and everyone has a different value. But even then, when they see the different ideas and we start talking about it, they go more into depth of how the photo illustrates the value. So they discover diversity. They discover the value of listening and incorporating others' perspectives. That actually it's fascinating because we can have our own opinion, which is true, but we can adopt others' opinions that are or ideas that are also true.
Right.
And that's how we can really grow, like effortlessly, just being part of a group of,
Listening, yeah, listening,
yeah.
and I found it amazing because I've used images with previously incarcerated men. I've used it with top executives, and it breaks it down. But what it also does, what you were saying, values and diversity, if there's also a commonality and a universality, because a lot of people will go, oh, you feel that too? It's like, we're all so behind these masks and everything, and it will just break it on down. So you have diversity on one end and universality on the other. And it's like together, it's like, wow, what a fascinating combination that maybe years of therapy would have gotten you to talking, but certainly not the image can just do it zip, just like that. It's pretty amazing.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely right. It's like two sides of one thing.
Mhm.
We are unique, but we are connected, and we share the same experiences, but we go through them differently maybe, and we express about them differently. But by knowing how other people experience and how they talk about it, how they see things, we can better understand ourselves as well.
Definitely. It's interesting, and I know somebody's probably already done the research. It's like, but there's got to be only a certain amount of emotions and feelings that you can have, and that you can reach them from different points. But I would think that would bring everybody together too. It's like, oh, I was a little embarrassed, but now that I know somebody else is feeling that, something like that. Fix me because I have a conflict. When I go on vacation, I don't take pictures because it's like, oh, I don't want to be standing there looking at a frame and then I miss what's going on. But now you've made me feel like, oh my gosh, I'm wasting. I need to take pictures. I need to take pictures for not reminders, but for the beginning of the journey. How do you fix that? Fix me, please.
I'm not sure I'm able to answer. Maybe you can rephrase the question.
Right. No, because I'll feel like, okay, if I'm behind a camera and I'm taking a picture, then I'm not experiencing what's going on. I'm framing the picture and
Yeah.
maybe and so it's like, wow, is that a good use of my time? I'm beginning to think because of your book, heck yeah, it's a great use of my time, but I'm still a little resistant. It's like, no, I want to experience everything. But it's like, so I don't know. How do you set your pictures up? Do you just snap when you see, or do you how do you do your pictures?
Well, that's a cool question, actually, because I hear that from people as well, that they have that dilemma, let's say, to be or not to be or to take the pictures or not to
Right.
be there fully, or to rather observe and take the photos. But I tell you, if I love if I want to take pictures of a place, for instance, and I love that place, I go there not once, but more.
Well, that's a good solution. Yeah. Okay.
And I keep returning to many places, you know,
Yeah.
and I keep repeating also photos sometimes. Actually, for me, I take photos continuously as well. But when I really want to have these photos from a moment, from a place, I just devote a little bit more time.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm not just going like crazy, you know, and not rushing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it happened. Yeah, I think this is my approach. Mm.
I'm lucky. I travel with a person usually who's a fantastic photographer. So it's like, okay, give me that one. I want that one, and he'll be setting everything up, but he has an eye for it, I think. And I'm not sure I do. So it's like, I don't want to waste time putting I'll use his, but yeah, that makes sense. If you really see a place that speaks to your heart or even makes you question, then slow down. That's always a good
Yeah,
slow down or
yeah.
come back. Yeah, come back and
Yes, and I also very often, you know, used to write afterwards, so to write down a little bit.
yeah.
I have a whole collection of memories from moments when I took a photo.
Hmm. Yeah. Another book. Okay, you got some books coming up here. You're
And
going to
that's
be
the
writing
same
a lot.
with selfies, you know. I sometimes take myself portraits in places I want to keep a memory of myself in these places
What do you
and
think? That's
fix them.
interesting. The selfie. What do you think about everybody's a photographer now because everybody has the
Yeah.
phone and it's great and they set it up. How do you single out the real photographers? If there is such a thing? How do you single that out? It's like what makes a photographer not a selfie taker? That's a bad
Mhm.
question, but you know what I mean. What makes what?
Yeah.
How do you classify a photographer, a genuine
Uh,
photographer?
you know, I'm hearing these questions for the first time. How do I classify? I never classified photographers.
No, maybe shouldn't. I don't know.
But you know, I maybe this is just an idea that if someone, not necessarily being a professional photographer, but if someone takes photos consciously and frames photos consciously and not just, you know, shooting without stopping really,
Right.
just to have these memories kept in the photos, but shooting on purpose to create an image, a picture. I think that the person for me would be a photographer already.
Okay, I'll buy that. I know I'm not one, but that's okay. I'm going to work on trying to be one. So, tell me about how the second edition came about because I see in this book you have I think I read the first one and you have a second edition now, and you're calling it Notes from a Journey Together, which I love. Tell me all about that, photography and coaching and what you're doing.
You mean this book, the second edition, or the one I'm writing now?
Yeah, you have in the back. I'll remind you since you wrote it. In the back, you have something about photography and coaching, and it's like, okay, this is
Yeah.
no longer a personal journey. I'm sharing it, which I think is which is makes it so great, and gets everybody else all excited about it. So,
Mhm.
how did that come about?
So you know the notes from personal journey, I wrote it because I wanted the book to be the book is always, I guess, from my perspective, and I shared a lot about my experience there. So it's written from here. It's not like I didn't collect. I didn't combine various research articles to create a book. I wrote it really from inside, how I see things and organize and structure the book. And in the beginning about seeing, remembering, and I gave examples from my, and I shared my reflections, how I understood various things. And then I shared examples from my work, how I use this in people, in working with people. And I thought it's going to be ethical to write notes from a personal journey. It's my personal and professional journey at the same time, because it's not like scientific, although nowadays we know that there is a lot of research that confirms several observations that we have from life about memory, about mind, about reactions in the nervous system, etc. And I just had such a beautiful reaction when the first edition of the book came out from coaches and business trainers, that I started more bravely exploring this in coaching. So using photographs really in the coaching frame, during the coaching sessions, or in the coaching processes, longer processes. Then I wrote this article, Photography in Coaching, and I started talking about photography in coaching. And now I'm like crystal clear about photographs in coaching, photography in coaching.
What I loved about this is what I see in the book, and I don't see it too often, and coaches have been clamoring for this forever. You obviously, you surveyed some either coaches or people who used images, and how effective that was, and it was like, wow, there's some proof right here. You've done research for everybody else, and that's pretty unusual to see, because most people don't bother doing that. It's just like, yeah, coaches are cool and we can do this and that, but you got it right here. It's
That's true.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
it was I think 2016 already, or 15 maybe. I made some first research, invited coaches and coaching clients to answer several questions on how images, what role the images played in the coaching sessions, how they helped. And I was also amazed that like almost everybody was saying like, yes, they had to open up, to remember, etc., which again seemed to be obvious, but when you have the data, when people confirm, it's more like validated. But I think that the whole life experience shows today that and proves that we just simply are visual, because our visual circuits are very effective, and we remember things through images. We talk through images. We talk through metaphors. It's our way.
I mean, I don't think, yes, I see us moving toward a more visual world. I don't think people, I don't want to say they don't read, but I don't think they read and write as much as like when you and I were growing up. I think it's like, oh, I can see it on my phone. I don't have to say anything. Here's an emoji, which drives me crazy, but it's okay. It proves I'm old. But, and I think people are moving toward more visual. That's a great point. Yeah, somehow I would stick a sticker on the front of this and go, I have the proof, this works. Just to let them know it's in there. Yeah.
But talking about photography in coaching, I'm now writing a second book about the topic, and it's going to be really like specifically about coaching when I use different ways, in a different way. Photographs in the coaching, combined with the coaching models. During the session, I will describe specific moments, how it came to my mind to propose now to use a photograph. And I've collected a lot of case studies that will be shown in the book. And you know what's beautiful? That I have several clients who, they know I'm writing these things, proposed me that I can use the case studies. And I have a whole collection of transcriptions from sessions or experienced experiences described by my clients specifically for the book that I can include.
It sounds like volume 1, 2, and 3, maybe. It sounds like a lot of stuff going in there. I love it. So we've got like 3 minutes left, believe it or not. And yeah, I know you are obviously a lady of many talents. Tell us what you're doing with your talents. We know we got another book coming. Yay, I can't wait for that. What else are you doing? Are you coaching? Are you teaching? Are you speaking? What are you doing with all these talents that you have? Are you teaching people how to take photographs? Because if so, I will sign up. No. So what are you doing?
Yeah, so my daily work is really coaching. So I coach clients in the first half of the day, and I very often use photographs, or yes, and it works really beautifully with any type of a client. I work also with executives and managers, and there are moments in the process when I just invite them to bring something that I call the most important photo. Bring, hey, for the next session, the most important photo, to help them connect to really, to have to trigger that reflection on what is really most important in my life, what has been most important. And it takes beautifully to talk about values, and but connect, not from here, really connect to their biography. So coaching, but I also teach. I regularly teach other coaches and school teachers how to use it, because, and I'm really devoted to share this practice and the knowledge in terms in the form of books, articles, courses. I developed a course that is accredited by the ICF, so I have regular teaching.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, so my objective, I think, professionally, is to make as much as I can to describe, to share the experience that I have from my coaching practice that is still live, and to teach it to others so people can use it. So I'm writing books. I'm uploading articles on the academia.org. So you can find their articles too. Sometimes I do webinars. So yeah.
Okay, you're not hiding, that we know. All right, let me show you. This is the book, one image, many words. I got it very easy. Sorry about that spiritual thing going on there. I got it off Amazon quite easily, and it's Dorota Raniszewska, and you can find her. Look this up, and you're going to find out that a picture is really a lot more than you think it is. Dorota, I'm really thinking we need to do a little bit more of this because you've got a lot more to say and I've got a lot more to ask. But right now, I'm going to thank you so much for being on the show and being such a fantastic guest. Thank you.
Thank you.